4 musicians, 40 minutes, 1 Beethoven quartet. That was true in 1826. It is still true tonight. Nobody has ever found a way to play it faster, and nobody ever will. Rush it, and it stops being the piece. So here is the thing I keep turning over. The music has not changed. The players are as good as they have ever been. Same notes, same minutes, the same 4 people leaning into the same last chord. Then why does hearing it cost so much more now than it did 200 years ago? And before you say, well, everything costs more, hold on to that for a second, because this is not really about a concert ticket. It is about the tuition bill, the hospital, the daycare, the plumber who still somehow can only fix one sink at a time. They all climb together, all for the same quiet reason. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let's start with what it is not. It is not greed. There is no villain in this story twirling a mustache. The musicians did not change. Everyone around them did. Go back 200 years. Picture the violinist and a factory worker down the road. Back then, the two of them earned in more or less the same world, a day of skilled work for a day of skilled pay. Then the factory worker's world caught fire in the best possible way. Machines, steam, then electricity, then everything after. And that worker, better tools, and the same hour of effort starts turning out far more than it used to, many times more. And here is the fair part, the part nobody argues with. When you produce more in an hour, you get paid more for that hour, so the worker's wages climbed. That is not a trick. That is progress doing exactly what we want it to do. Now come back to the violinist. There is no better tool for the slow movement of a string quartet. You cannot hand her a machine that plays it in half the time. 4 people, 40 minutes. That is the technology, and it was finished the day it was written. Her output per hour is exactly what it was in 1826. So by the logic of the factory, her pay should stand perfectly still. But it does not. And this is the hinge the whole thing turns on. She still has to be paid enough to stay. Think about it from where she is sitting. She could set down the bow tomorrow and go do the faster growing work, the work where wages keep climbing because that is where the machines are. For her to keep playing instead, the orchestra has to keep her pay somewhere close to what the rest of the economy is offering. So her wage rises too, pulled upward by a boom she had no part in a craft that got no faster at all. An economist named William Baumol put his finger on this back in the 1960s. He and a colleague, William Bowen, were trying to work out a small mystery. Why did the live performing arts keep getting more expensive decade after decade? When the performances themselves had not changed one bit, what they found ended up with his name on it, Baumol's cost disease. Although, honestly, disease is a slightly unfair word for it. Nothing here is broken. Every single person in the story is behaving reasonably. Watch what it looks like when we actually draw it. Here is output per hour in the fast lane. Manufacturing, farming, anything a machine can get its hands on, it climbs and climbs and climbs. Here is the violinist, a flat line, steady, right where she started 2 centuries ago. Now watch her wages. They do not follow her own flat line, they follow the climb. That gap between what she produces and what she has to be paid, that gap is the whole disease. Except it is not a disease. It is just what happens when some things can be hurried and some things cannot, and everybody still has to make a living. So here is the whole thing, in one breath. When one part of the economy races ahead, it drags up the price of everything that cannot keep pace with it, even the things that never changed at all. Sit with that for a second, because it is genuinely backwards. The stuff that feels like a worse and worse deal every year, the concert, the classroom, the checkup, is often the stuff that stayed exactly the same. Nobody got slower, nobody got greedier. The quality did not slip. The number on the bill went up because everything around it got faster, and it quietly refused to. Which brings us, at last, down off the stage. Because you do not buy many string quartets, but you buy the shape of one all the time. Take tuition. We keep waiting for it to fall. Surely, with all this technology, teaching should be getting cheaper. But the thing that actually teaches is still, mostly, one person in a room, giving a group of students the kind of attention that takes the time it takes. You can film the lecture. You cannot automate the office hours. Take the hospital. A good nurse can only care for so many patients and then no more. That "so many" has barely moved in decades because the caring is the job and caring does not speed up on command. Take daycare. You cannot ask one person to safely watch 40 babies just because someone wrote a clever app. The ratio is the entire point. And the plumber. His tools really are better than his father's were. The cutting, the sealing, all of it goes faster now. But the van still has to cross town to reach your door. And the diagnosis is still one person, kneeling on your kitchen floor, looking at your particular pipe in your particular wall. The driving does not compress, neither does the looking. Here is the pattern hiding under all of it. Whatever refuses to be rushed is exactly what takes a bigger bite out of your pay each year. Not because those people are gouging you, because they are standing still in a world that is sprinting, and standing still, it turns out, gets expensive. Now, I am not going to pretend this explains every line on every bill. Hospitals have a dozen other things tangled up in them, so does tuition. This is one thread, not the whole sweater. But it is a thread that runs through all of them, and most people go their whole lives without noticing it is there. So that nagging little feeling that some things cost more than they honestly should, you are not imagining it. You are just paying for the parts of life a machine still cannot hurry. So the next time a ticket, a class, a checkup costs more than it feels like it should, now you know why. Nobody slacked off. Some things simply cannot be hurried, and those tend to be the ones we care about most. A teacher with a room, a doctor with a patient, 4 people and 40 minutes. There is something almost reassuring in it, once you can see it. The price went up because the human part refused to disappear. You do not have to do anything with that tonight. Just listen a little differently the next time a bill lands and something in you says, "That seems like a lot." Maybe it is, and maybe now you know what you are really paying for.